everyone. I'm so happy that you tuned in today. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Dr. Linzi, and I am a naturopathic doctor right here in Iron River. I specialize in helping people restore their health and revitalize their life. Always our little disclaimer, anything we talk about is for the purpose of general health support, not intended to treat or cure disease. We're here to talk about supporting overall physiology and optimizing overall health, so always consult with your primary care health provider before making any changes. So last week we talked about a pretty intense topic, probably one of the most misunderstood tools right now in weight loss, lovely GLP medications. So, it's such an intense topic because a lot of people think it's either the lazy way out, a magic shot that fixes everything, or a trap where you'll regain everything the second you stop it, or some people that see it as a tool. So in last week's episode, we brought truth, clarity, and also some compassion to the conversation, because that topic is personal for a lot of people. So I wanted to help provide some information. So you can always go check that out at my YouTube, Dr.Linzi ND, and check that out for yourself if you're interested about that. Lots of good information there. Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't know about, but it's very real and it's often very overlooked, but incredibly important when it comes not just to our weight loss journey, but our overall health and healing. And that is your nervous system. So I want to start with something a little personal. So very recently, I have felt incredibly frustrated in my body. Many of you know, and I shared my story of how now I'm at, 35 pounds lost of the weight that I've been able to lose and release from my body. But you guys got to know, as a naturopathic doctor, I was already eating clean. I was active. I was doing all the things that I talked to you guys about, but my body was not responding, right? And I kept gaining the weight. And of course, what do we hear? Oh, it's your hormones, or this is your new normal, or oh, you're getting to that age. In 2 weeks I'm going to be 40. So what does everyone want to say? Oh, that's just perimenopause. That's what happens. And you guys, I just refuse to accept that. Like, our bodies are amazing. They can take us through all different stages of our life without suffering and without gaining an extra 35 bloody pounds. Okay. And so what it really came down to, you guys, was that my body was holding on to weight, to fat, not releasing it because my nervous system was a wreck. I had allowed chronic stress to start to build up again. I had experienced massive grief that I had never experienced before. And, now hormones do play a role, but I eventually realized, both personally for myself and so much clinically all the time, that for many people who are struggling with weight loss, or what they've been told is perimenopause, or told this is their new normal, are actually dealing with a nervous system that is stuck in survival mode. And when the body feels like it's under threat, guess what it does? It holds on to fat. It doesn't want to release it. That scale keeps going up no matter what you do. And then what do a lot of high achieving men and women do? They try harder. They get more strict. They work out harder. And what does that do? That puts more stress on your nervous system, and it gets worse. So let's talk about the science for a moment. So your nervous system has like two main states. You have your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. So your sympathetic is your flight or fight response. You can also have the freeze response that a lot of people don't talk about. But the fight or flight is like, there's a bear, I need to run. There's this perceived stress, danger, pressure, overwhelm. And then the body goes into this like hypervigilant fight or flight state. It can also go into something called freeze, where your nervous system literally freezes. That's more how I experience it, where my body wants to just shut down. This will happen for a lot of people where they'll just have to go lay down, or their nervous system just like literally short circuits and shuts down. But that's also in a massive stress response, even in still sympathetic. And then the other is the lovely parasympathetic. So this is often called our rest, digest, rejuvenate, repair. So this is where healing, digestion, hormonal balance, detoxification, fat metabolism occur, right? So if the body spends, and both are important, we do need a little bit of sympathetic, but guess what? The majority of the population is way too much in the sympathetic. And so if your body spends too much time in that sympathetic mode, a few things start to happen physiologically. Cortisol rises. We've all heard about the lovely stress hormone. Cortisol rises, which then also contributes to insulin resistance becoming a problem, your blood sugar. Because you got to remember, cortisol and blood sugar are related. When you start to release cortisol from a stress response, your body thinks it needs to run from a bear, even if there isn't a bear. So you need to start pumping out fuel or glucose into your body so that it can feed your muscles so you can run from the bear. But the problem is when there's no bear, now you have all this cortisol, you have all this blood sugar, glucose being pumped into your cells. And if you're doing that all the time, all day, what is that going to cause? It's going to cause insulin resistance. It's going to lead you down the path to pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetes. So stress absolutely plays a role. It also, so then it affects the inflammation then. Your inflammation goes up. Your blood sugar becomes unstable, like I talked about. Signals for hormones like GLP-1s in your gut that help regulate appetite and blood sugar become less effective. And from a survival standpoint, you are essentially saying, hey, body, we are under stress. We need to conserve energy so the body stores fat rather than burning it. It's not a time to be burning fat, it's a time to be surviving. And this is why people can cut calories, increase exercise, and still feel stuck or even have the scale continue to increase. And so this is where it's not just about food and movement. Now, are food and movement important? Absolutely. But it's not just about that. It's also about whether your body feels safe enough to let go. So, and again, like I said, this doesn't mean all stress is bad, but many people are living in this chronic low grade, then to high grade, then still at low grade stress. And they don't even recognize it anymore because unfortunately that low grade chronic stress has become their new normal. And so people are, running businesses, going to work, taking care of families, having constant notifications, lack of sleep, too much caffeine, always pushing. And many people will describe this feeling as like wired but tired. And that's a sign that the nervous system has been on overdrive for far too long, you guys. So the good news is that we can actually train our nervous system more towards regulation than this dysregulation. And there are some very simple tools that have meaningful difference that I'm going to teach you that you guys don't need a ton of time to do and you can start implementing. So one of my favorite quick tools is something called the 5-5-5 reset. So it's 5 nasal breaths. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and you inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. So, and then you focus on 5 things you can see with your eyeballs and 5 things you can hear with your ears. So this takes less than 2 minutes, but what this is doing is it's pulling you out of stress mode and back into your body. When we actually bring ourselves out of our mind, out of the stress, and we're breathing and we're noticing our surroundings, we're literally pulling ourselves out of that stress response, and it stops that cortisol cascade from taking over our body. So it's going to lower your cortisol, and when we lower cortisol, we're going to get better sleep, better digestion, better fat release. Can you afford 2 minutes a day? I know sometimes people are like, oh, I need to meditate, but I don't have 45 minutes or this or that. And it's overwhelming. But you got 2 minutes. You can do it in the car. You can do it when you're feeling stressed. And also the reason why it's inhaling for 4 seconds and then exhaling through your nose for 6 seconds is that when you lengthen the exhale, you actually stimulate your vagus nerve. Now, just do a quick Google of vagus nerve. It's the most, well, all of the nerves in our body are amazing, but I would have to say it's probably the most amazing nerve in the body because it goes to all of our organs and systems, and it also regulates our nervous system. And when we stimulate our vagus nerve, we move our body into parasympathetic state, which is the rest, digest, rejuvenate, and repair. And that will stop the cortisol cascade. That'll stop the glucose cascade from going on in your cells. So that is really powerful. Another one is a powerful tool is somatic exercises or somatic movements. You can also Google this. You can find all sorts of free stuff on YouTube and things. But all somatic means is that it's movement that reconnects you with the sensations in your body. Just like the 5-5-5 is bringing you out of your mind into your physical body so that you can calm down. The somatic movements are movements that are bringing you back into your body. So this might look like slow stretching, gentle twisting or swinging movements, rolling the shoulders, or simply placing your hand on your chest and taking some deep breaths while noticing how your body feels. Or a really great one that I love people doing is after they work out, because some people just love cardio. Cardio is, I don't love to do when people's nervous systems are all jacked up because it is a stressor. a hormetic stress, a controlled stressor, which can be good because it helps us deal better with stress. But if we're already really, really in a stress state, we have to be careful with the type of exercises we're doing. So one thing you can simply do without changing your routine, if you like it, is literally at the end of the workout, take 3 to 5 minutes, go up against a wall, put your legs up against the wall. So your butt's up against the wall, your legs are vertical. I know it seems kind of crazy, but when you do that, and you can just leave them there, you can rotate side to side. When you are in that position, it literally triggers a parasympathetic response. So you did this intense workout that you loved, or you went for a run, then you get home, you put your legs up against the wall, and you just breathe. And you could do the 5-5-5 while you're doing that, but that gets your body into a parasympathetic state so that if you work out in the morning or in the evening, you're not continuing a stress response after the workout. You do your workout, you get the benefits, and then you get your body engaged into that parasympathetic state, and that will really help you. And so what these movements are sending, they are signaling to your brain that your body is safe, and that message, if we tell it enough, can start to calm our nervous system. And then one of my favorites, and you guys could see this if you check out my my Facebook this week. My husband said I have no shame because I was dancing to a Snoop Dogg song. It's pretty funny. But I just like to share this with you guys because these are things that I actually do. So one of the most underrated tools that I use with patients to help shift their out of a certain state or to help with that stress response of that nervous system is dancing or rhythmic movement. So literally dancing in the kitchen, walking in nature, moving to music. It literally helps regulate your nervous system and it discharges stored stress from your body. And then even if while you're dancing, you incorporate some of the somatic movements where you swing your arms and you shake it out and you move your body in that way, like you are going to release that stored stress. It's not just some woo-woo, weird hippie dancing or something. Like you are literally releasing that stored stress from your body. Movement, you guys, is truly medicine, not only for the muscles, but for the nervous system. And one thing too is to get in a place of gratitude. And I know that we all have heard, oh, have a gratitude journal, oh, do this. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who just was like, that sounds like a great idea. But you guys, if you can train yourself and get in the habit of either starting or ending your day with literally just 1 to 3 things that you are grateful for and something positive you want to affirm in your life, it brings that positive energy into your life and it's calming to your nervous system. And it also gets you into a place of being able to receive the goodness into your life. Because if we had a stress day, if we're stuck in that sympathetic overdrive, we are not in a good place energetically, you guys. So if we can have these little bits throughout the day of a 5-5-5 reset, or literally 3 minutes that we take to write down some gratitude or to write down a positive affirmation, that little bit can shift us out and turn the ship around and stop that cortisol overdrive. Does that make sense, Jim?
It does, and I feel rather sympathetic to folks that may have that issue that you were talking about earlier. Finding that they're stressed, but they don't realize they're stressed because they're so used to it.
Yes.
And you know, I think like you're saying, if somebody takes that moment, that 2 moments to just sit there and breathe and do like a mind check.
Yes.
Is your mind racing, or are you just sitting
Literally.
there wondering, I wonder what I could do tomorrow or 50 years?
Yeah. And the thing is so many people get used to it. Like you said, it's their new normal. And so they don't even realize. And I've had so many patients that, like, when they start to have this sense of awareness, things that they thought were symptoms were literally just their body communicating, hey, you've been stressed for too long. We got to do something. A perfect example is one thing through this journey that I noticed is when I start to get too overwhelmed or I've been in a state of stress for too long, 2 things will happen. One is I'll start to sigh a lot. like excessively, like it's excessive.
Oh, like almost hyperventilate?
Like, yeah, and I'm
Really?
like, and I'm not like going into I've had a history of anxiety and panic attacks,
Sure.
but it's not that. I'm just, and even Jake, my husband, will be like, whoa, I think it's time to take some breathers, or how are you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but now I'm so aware of it that when I notice I'm sighing more, boom, I'm like, oh, I got to do some stress relief. I got to recenter here. I got to refocus, because I realize the path I'm going down. Another one is I have scoliosis in my back, and since I can remember, since I've been a young girl, there's this one spot on my back, and even on x-ray it shows arthritis, but it's always hurt me. It's always been in pain, and I just try to manage it naturally, and it's just something that has been a problem my whole life, and I try to stay on top of it. But as I've been working more on my nervous system, and I started getting cranial sacral and like helping balancing my nervous system, being more aware, implementing some of these things that I'm teaching you guys, the pain's not there. But if I continue with the stress, and it's been like, maybe I got off of some of my habits, and it's been a week, it's going on a week and a half where I've been feeling a little revved up. I haven't been doing my breathing, I haven't been doing my gratitude. All of a sudden the pain will start to come in my back. It'll start to feel that tighten. It'll start to spasm up. And of course, that tension I'm carrying, that stress, is coming through in my muscles and in my body. And then I'll be like, oh, there's that pain. So now instead of being like, oh, my scoliosis, my back pain, there it is. It's like, no, 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 that's my body communicating with me.
Dr. Linzi, the one thing I totally hate, and I think there's probably like 3 or 4 other people out there that agree with me, is when somebody says, Jim, you are really stressed. I don't need somebody telling me I'm stressed if I'm stressed. How can we approach somebody that we care about to get them? I mean, if we notice that maybe they're going off on little things, I mean, things that would have never bothered them before.
And they're just going.
Like, why isn't that pencil sharpened?
Yes.
Why is that all of a
Yes,
sudden a
and
big
my
deal?
husband is so great. Bless Jake's heart, because he's very good at pointing this out to me. And I think through the years, he's learned what not to say.
Sure.
Like, okay, things we maybe don't want to say. Geez, you're awful stressed. Or 2, snap out of it. Well, yeah, if it was easy to just snap out of it, I would. So don't tell me to snap out of it. Like, there's certain things we don't say when someone's in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll often be, what he will do, and I find this helpful for me because I'm more of a type A, revved up person in general. I have to work at it. He will take a big breath.
Yeah.
You know how like when someone yawns, we tend to yawn?
The
he models it.
Okay.
So all of a sudden he'll kind of loosen his shoulders, and he'll take a big breath in and release, and then all of a sudden I notice I just took a big breath in and release, and he'll be like, oh, maybe we should go for a walk, or maybe we need a reset, or how are you feeling today?
I love him.
He's amazing. He's a saint. He's a saint, right?
Right.
And so, and that he's not, because it doesn't feel like judgment. That's the thing. As soon as we are like, it feels like we're receiving judgment, it just revs us up more. So if we can say things that kind of just do the mirror technique, or just redirect of like, hey, maybe help the other person that you notice maybe struggling, help them, bring them back into their body. So if you can bring them back into their body and do something physical and encourage like something that's going to help, and you may even say, even if you don't feel super stressed, hey, wow, today was a bit tough. I'm feeling a little tense, maybe because you're picking up on their tenseness. Oh, you want to do some breaths with me? And bring them along for the journey, instead of like, whoa, you are Hot Mess Express, you need to go do some breathing. Things like that. I think that would be helpful.
There you go.
Yeah.
Folks, we're all human. We all have our issues, so to speak. One of the I got to say, some of the cutest things couples really can pick up on each other. And obviously, we all know how, if you're in a relationship for any time, you have learned how to push your mate's buttons.
Oh my gosh.
At the same time, you have the ability to unlock those locks.
Yes, and one of the beautiful things too about a supportive partner is they can help you feel safe. And when you have that support and you feel safe, your body's also more likely to be in a parasympathetic. We get judged enough. A lot of us are hard enough on ourselves. We don't need someone else judging us. And that can be helpful for us too if we do have a more challenging spouse, like Jake has me. I will admit I am not easy. And so, but to not judge them and just be there and try to go along with them on the journey, it makes all the difference, and you can go through it together then.
Another thing that we're talking about stress. Stress. Would you break stress down into like two? How can I say this? There's like the immediate stress, like almost in a car accident.
Yes.
You kind of talked about the fight or flight, but what about the people who are constantly having anxiety over something that's supposed to happen in 5 minutes?
Oh, the anticipatory anxiety.
Yes. How can we help
Yes.
you? Because we absolutely have no control what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
And we certainly can't, anything in the past. I mean,
Yes.
it's here in the
It's in the present.
Right.
We have to bring ourselves back to the present. I would say, and I'll just be totally honest, the biggest thing, because I've dealt with anxiety since I've been like 13 years old, and I would say the biggest thing that has helped me personally and what I notice helps patients, honestly, is God. Because we have to, like, we try to do these things on all on our own, and when we're so worried about the future and all the things that could happen, if we know that there's a greater power and we can give it up to God, it gives us a sense of calm and peace. Now, that's not saying we don't take action and we don't make the choices that help support us.
Right on.
But we also, he knows the story. He knows the start, he knows the end. He can, and what's beautiful is he can open up doors and open up opportunities that we could never even imagine. And so if we just remain present and focus on what we can control in the moment and the choices we make, and give the rest up to God, and that's where the prayer and the gratitude and the affirmations can be so freeing, because we can give that up. And then I just feel like we have the opportunity to heal and to release that. And sometimes maybe people need to do a little bit more of the 555 or the dancing or the things to bring them back into the present, because that's really, when you look at those tools that I explained, what are all of them doing? They're all bringing you back into the present moment, right? And that can be so helpful. And so I notice that when I'm helping patients with weight loss and with healing, we absolutely talk about nutrition. We absolutely focus on blood sugar stability and gut health, and we work on sleep and circadian rhythm. But we also pay attention to the nervous system, because you cannot separate physiology from stress. So when the body starts feeling safe again, something remarkable happens. Those annoying cravings that you feel like you cannot control decrease. Your energy improves. Inflammation begins to calm, and the body can finally release the weight that it's been holding on to. So I want to say that if you feel like you've been doing everything right, but your body is stuck, I want you to consider the question: is it possible that your body isn't broken, that you're not just going through perimenopause, or, and for men, andropause, and that you just have to like accept this as your new normal, but maybe that you're simply stuck in survival mode? And sometimes the most powerful shift is not pushing harder or trying harder. It's literally creating safety for the body again. And this is actually one of the reasons why I created the total health restoration system that I've talked about, because it's a structured 90-day program that we do. Because real healing doesn't happen from just hearing information once. I love to come on here and share the information, but I sometimes will repeat themes because I'm hoping that you guys will pick up on it. But just hearing it, knowledge is not power, you guys. We often hear that knowledge is power, right? You've heard that saying, right, Jim? Knowledge is power.
Oh, definitely.
I believe that is not the right quote. The quote is, knowledge is potential power.
Oh.
Once you get the knowledge, you have the potential to create power and change in your life, but it requires actually action. And so it happens from consistent action and support over time. So for 90 days, we walk alongside clients with weekly check-ins, accountability, guidance, and adjustments, so that the body actually has time to support, and the support it needs to regulate, repair, and heal. So yes, we focus on nutrition, metabolism, gut health, nervous system regulation, daily lifestyle habits, and measurable progress, so that people aren't trying to figure it out alone. And what I found over and over again is that when people have structure, support, and accountability, their bodies finally start responding the way that they've been hoping for. Because what does that structure, support, and accountability do? It creates a sense of safety.
And, you talk about safety and security. Hey, you get a lot of safety and security when you're running in a pack. And that's
Yes.
what you've got going on right
with
now.
with the group,
Yes,
like
yes.
it's like group think in a positive way.
Yes.
when it can be a positive thing and work for you, because you don't feel alone. And like you guys hear me say a lot, you know, we've heard our whole life, oh, it takes a village to raise a child. I feel like it takes a village to be an adult.
Yeah.
Adulting is so hard, and here we are trying to do it all by ourselves.
Sure.
With everything, it makes a difference. And I wanted to share two I guess, what would you say? Not quotes, but some clients from the Total Health Restoration, they like gave some feedback.
Oh.
And I like wanted to cry. It made me so happy. And I have to share them with you. So the one client said, joining this program has been one of the best decisions of my life. I'm so excited to continue this journey. It's truly a lifestyle and a mindset shift. I'm a better person thanks to this program.
Oh.
That was so like, just like that, you know, it's changing people. And then another person, she said, the total health transformation has been such a blessing. I wish people would understand that there is real help available. It's not difficult. You just have to do the work. The guidance and support is superb. So I just feel like, you know, to have that so people know that there is hope, and there are things that aren't just a, you know, a gimmick or the next quick fix. Like we can have true change.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I just want to let everyone know, if you feel like this is an approach that would help for you, you can always reach out to Upper Peninsula Natural Wellness. We'd be happy to help guide you on your journey. And you can reach us at 906-829-0500. You can also email info@drlinzi.com. That's info@drlinzi.com. And we're there Monday and Thursdays. 8 to 4:30, and we can be of support of you. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in again. I'm so happy that you guys listen, and I just really hope that these episodes encourage you to explore new ways to support your health and healing, and help remind you that healing is possible. And I encourage you always to make creating the conditions for health a priority in your life, and keep supporting that incredible body of yours. And I encourage you to focus on getting in alignment around your health and getting the support you need. And I encourage you to trust your body, to trust nature, and to trust the incredible wisdom that God has built into your design. And remember, health isn't just about what you eat or how you exercise. It's about caring for the mind, the body, and the nervous system together, right?
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
I want people to understand that you've got a Facebook page, Linzi Say Larson, and parentheses ND.
Yep.
She's got reels on there. I mean, so if you need just like a little quick fix, pick me up kind of thing. Yeah, hit those reels and enjoy.
Yes.
It's free.
It's free information. I try to share lots of things and get engagement. And share questions to get feedback from you guys, to kind of know like what do you guys want to hear about? How can I help share my knowledge to help you better your life? So be sure to go check it out on Facebook, Linzi Say Larson, and then you can engage too and help be part of the conversation and continue to learn and grow, because that's what it's all about, right? If we're not growing, we're dying. And so we just need to focus on that growth and getting better.
Yeah, it's interesting you say it that way, because I'll use like a business idiom that business people understand. If you're not making money, you're losing money.
Right. So if we're not getting better,
yeah.
we're getting worse, or staying the same, which usually isn't a good place to stay in.
That's decay right there.
Right. Absolutely.
Dr. Linzi, a heavy subject, but